In this video, we'll answer 4 questions. What actually is cloud computing? Who's responsible for what when things go wrong? What's the difference between public, private, and hybrid cloud? And how does cloud pricing actually work? By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain the shared responsibility model and pick the right cloud deployment model for a given scenario. You're running a server under your desk. It handles your company's website. One day, the hard drive fails. The site goes down. You scramble to buy a replacement, reinstall everything, restore from a backup you hope is recent. Meanwhile, your customers see nothing but an error page. The whole time, you're paying for that hardware, whether it's serving traffic or collecting dust. This is the reality of managing your own infrastructure. Cloud computing flips this around. Instead of buying and maintaining physical hardware, you rent compute, storage, and networking from a provider like Microsoft Azure. The provider owns the data centers, runs the cooling, replaces failed drives. You just use what you need over the internet. Think of it like electricity. You don't build a power plant to charge your phone. You plug into the grid and pay for what you use. But here's the catch. Moving to the cloud doesn't mean you hand over all responsibility. The provider handles the physical infrastructure, the building, the network, the hosts. But you're still responsible for your data, your identities, and your access controls. It's a split. The exact line depends on the service model. With a virtual machine, you manage the OS and everything above it. With a managed database, the provider handles the OS and you just manage the data. The more managed the service, the less you maintain, but the less control you have. Now let's talk about where this infrastructure lives. A public cloud is owned and operated by a third-party provider, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. Anyone can sign up, provision resources, and start building. You share the underlying hardware with other customers, but your data is isolated. The advantage is speed. You can spin up 10 servers in minutes without buying a single rack. The trade-off, you're trusting a third party with your infrastructure, and you're bound by their rules and regions. A private cloud is cloud infrastructure dedicated to a single organization. It could live in your own data center, or it could be hosted by a third party but reserved just for you. Banks and government agencies often go this route because of strict compliance requirements. You get full control over security policies and hardware choices. The trade-off, you take on more of the responsibility. You're back to managing hardware, or at least paying a premium for someone else to manage it exclusively for you. Hybrid cloud combines both. You keep some workloads in your private environment and burst others into the public cloud. Imagine a hospital that stores patient records on premises for compliance, but uses Azure to run its public-facing appointment portal. The private side handles sensitive data. The public side handles traffic spikes. The trade-off, hybrid is the most flexible option, but also the most complex to manage. You need networking, identity, and security to work across both environments. One of the biggest shifts with cloud is how you pay. Traditional IT is capital expenditure. You buy servers upfront and depreciate them over years. Cloud is operational expenditure. You pay monthly for what you actually consume. If your app gets no traffic on weekends, you pay less on weekends. No upfront cost, no wasted capacity. But watch out, if you leave resources running that nobody's using, the bill still comes. Cloud saves money only if you manage it. Serverless takes consumption pricing to the extreme. With something like Azure Functions, you don't provision any infrastructure at all. You write a function, upload it, and Azure runs it only when triggered. If nobody calls your function, you pay nothing. Not almost nothing, literally zero. When to use it? Short-lived event-driven tasks. An image gets uploaded, a function resizes it. An order comes in, a function sends a confirmation email. The trade-off, you give up control over the runtime, and long-running processes don't fit this model. Let's recap. Cloud computing means renting infrastructure instead of owning it. The shared responsibility model splits duties between you and the provider. Public cloud gives you speed and scale. Private cloud gives you control and compliance. Hybrid combines both at the cost of complexity. And consumption-based pricing means you pay for what you use, with serverless being the most extreme example. Next up, the benefits of using cloud services.